We are participating in Valley Gaming's playthrough of Firestorm Market Garden, so here's our first game for the campaign. Let's take a closer look at the armies. Alright, here we have the British force for today. The core of the formation is Frost's Parachute Rifle Company. We have an HQ of 2 teams. We got 2 platoons each, full strength. So 7 Bren and rifle teams, and a Piet. The 3rd platoon is free, as it is the Firestorm support platoon. Then we have some Canadians standing in as airborne. We have a Vickers platoon of 4 guns, a 6-pounder platoon of 2 guns, and a mortar platoon with 3 tubes. Because we have to proxy a few things here, we've got some American 105s as glider howitzers, so those should be 75s today. Supporting the formation, we have a platoon of the glider pilots. They are represented by Canadian infantry here, so there's 9 rifle MG teams. And then we have a Dutch resistance group being, once again, proxied by some Italian forces. And that will be 65 points for today's game. And then for the German forces for today, representing the 9th SS outside of Arnhem, trying to push their way through the British air landing areas. We have a SS reconnaissance company taken from D-Day Waffen SS, upgraded with the 9th Hohenstaufen, whatever, the 9th SS, the best infantry and the best firepower. We got the HQ of 2 SMG teams and transports, 2 short strength platoons of 5 MG teams and transports not upgraded to Panzerfausts. We have the Firestorm unit, which is Armoured Panzergrenadiers, SS. We got 2 SDKZ 250 scout troops, a SDKZ 221 and 222 scout troop, 3 8cm mortars in the 250 half-track, and 2 Tiger tanks in support. And that will be 65 points of Waffen SS for today's game. Okay, so the mission we're playing is the Fighting Withdrawal scenario. So let's take a look at the deployment here. We've got the village is the center of Bree's defensive line with objectives on either side of it. Bree, where have you deployed?
So I have some of my paratroopers amongst the buildings. So I have a troop here, here, and here.
Yep.
I have my brain just forgot the name of the gun. Maxims?
And the Vickers is the machine guns.
Yep. Thank you. And here, I have my
howitzers in the back.
Howitzers over here. My 2-pound. No.
Oh, I thought you were putting the 6-pounders in ambush.
Oh God, yeah, I put this in ambush instead of an idiot.
Okay, so after a quick fix, the 6-pounders are what's in ambush, and the command teams she'll be deploying here shortly.
Yep.
What was left to mention?
Mortar tubes.
Mortar troops, and then right beside them is the Dutch resistance group.
Yep.
All right, so that'll be a little bit of a tough nut to crack. The German deployment, we've scattered along the entire edge of the table. I've got my flanking force here with the 222s and 223s, backed up with the 251 Armoured Panzergrenadiers and the 250 Reconnaissance Troop and the HQ for them. Center line, I've got the 2 Tigers rumbling down the road, backed up with a 250 Scout Troop. On the left flank, I have my other Reconnaissance Platoon and the other 250 Scout Troop supporting the mortar teams. And that will be today's game. Bree has placed her minefields, we placed our ranged in markers. This will make for a very interesting game, so let's get to the first turn. Alright, so for turn 1 movement, we'll go from this flank forward. So my 8cm mortar tracks stayed stationary. The 250 troop moved up with a dash. The reconnaissance platoon moved up with a dash. The Tiger tanks successfully passed their skill test to move through the minefield, and they dashed forward just outside 8 inches. This 250 troop moved up and is going to attempt to cross. Over here, the 221s and 222s attempted to cross the minefield. One failed and died with the strength 5 hit to its top armor. So instead of trying to follow behind and use the crossing point, the massive infantry transports is going to attempt a crossing here on this side of the river.
Okay.
So we'll contemplate some shooting and be right back. Okay, so I don't really have anything that could shoot really, because most of it dashed. So I contemplated if I wanted to use my mortars. I think I want to keep the aiming point there for if I want to use a smoke bombardment in another turn. And I don't want to use the smoke bombardment yet, so I'm just going to sit back, weather the firepower coming back at me, and push on forward.
Okay, so the withdrawing of my forces does not start until turn 2. So everything's just going to stay where it is, happy and snug in its foxholes. So no movement this turn for me. And I think the only thing that can maybe make a dent on your tanks, just maybe, is the howitzer 75s.
Oh, what's their bombardment AT?
Bombardment AT is 2.
My top
Firepower
armor
4+.
on a Tiger tank is 2.
Okay, so they might be able to do something.
No, they already equal, so you, at best, I would roll a 1.
Okay,
and it would
you
bounce
bail
off.
out. Oh, bounce. So
Yeah,
never
because
mind.
your anti-tank is 2, my top armor is 2.
Yeah, so they equal.
So.
Okay, so never mind. There is nothing I can do right now, so I'm just gonna
Go to ground,
snug out, and wait until I can bug out.
All right, well, that was a quick turn 1, so we'll be back with turn 2. All right, so lots of crossings happen this turn. First over here, the 250 scout troop, they just used the crossing point and got through. These guys attempted to ford the shallow streams as well. 2 failed, 3 got through. Over here, half the HQ platoon moved across. 2 of the infantry teams, or infantry stands, transports in here failed. And the half tracks themselves crossed. I should note, with the rivers, we're just treating them as shallow rivers, and the crossing points as no crossing checks. Yeah. And then over here, Tiger tanks continued rumbling forward, and part of the scout troop failed to cross here. And lastly, I attempted again to move through the minefield. He failed to succeed on a skill check, but rolled a 6 for his top armor. He just continued on. So we'll roll into shooting now. Okay, so shooting phase, I decided to drop my smoke now. I'm going to attempt to charge with my Tigris at the guys around the church and clear them out of the church. So just kind of protecting my flank from the Piet. And then moving rate of fire 4 on the MGs for the Tiger tanks. Your glider pilots are careful, but they're gone to ground, so hitting on 6s. I'll get 1 hit that I'll put on the closest rifle MG team, so an infantry save, please.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll move into assault. We'll be right back.
All right.
All right, so fast and furious here. We've got the Tigers in assault. I moved into contact. We measured to check range to see if the Piets would have had line of sight through the smoke, but realized they didn't even, they weren't even within the 8 inches for defensive fire anyway, so possibly a waste of my smoke. But we got my SS Tigers here. Their skill is 3+, and their motivation is a 2+, so I'm going to roll 2 dice on your team there and kill him.
Okay.
And then you can check to counterattack. Your glider rifles are also fearless, so on a 3+. No, so you are forced to fall back. So we will measure that and be right back. So that went my way. Putting me within 4 inches of the objective and threatening an early victory for the Germans. We'll move into the British turn. Be right back. All right, British starting step. You've got 2 pinned down units.
Yep. So 3 up to motivate.
Yep, so you've got the commander there as well, who coincidentally was also pinned. So we'll do him first. 3 up. He unpins, and then the British platoon, they also unpin. Unsurprising. Fearless troops. All right, so got you on the back foot. I'm not sure if you're within 4 inches at the moment or not. We'll figure that out in movement and be right back.
All right, so I attempted to dig the infantry here in, and they failed. I showed my ambush.
Yep, 6 pounders in the side armor of my Tigers. That's going to be scary.
That's going to hopefully hurt. I pulled my first unit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we forgot in the starting step to do the withdraw. So you had, I think, 8 units on the table during that. So we had to pull one off. She chose to pull off the Vickers that were in the Burr building.
Hotel.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So that building there. And then in your movement phase, you filled it back up with most of the Dutch resistance minus 1 team that's staying in their foxholes by the mortars.
Yep.
Okay, so on to shooting.
On to shooting.
All right, first things first, Bree's going to attempt to spot her 75mm pack howitzers over here in the open on top of my half tracks. So your skill was 3?
3.
We're going to place a template.
Please stand by.
Okay, so we're going to attempt to range it in there. So on a skill of 3+.
Okay. Nope.
First attempt. Second attempt, it ranges in. So move your ranged in marker for me. We're going to get 4 251 half tracks and 3 250 half tracks. What's the anti-tank on your 75mm?
AT2.
AT2, my top armor is going to be 0. So 3 hits on the 250s. I'm aggressive, so hitting me on 3s normally, but because it's your second attempt to range in, you'll be hitting me on 4s. 3 dice on the 250s. So 1 hit and then re-rolling successfuls because it's 1 or 2 guns firing. So that still hits. So then an armor check. 6 makes it bounce, and then 4 dice on the 251s. 2 hits, re-rolling. 2 hits. 1 equals, 1 bounces, so successful firepower, and you bail them out.
And firepower's 4+.
Yes, so that's 1 bailed out track. All right, we'll be back with the rest of the shooting. All right, next up, we got the 6-pounders going for that flanking shot on the Tigers, hitting them on... Oh, I didn't even think to check that, if they're aggressive or not. It's been so long since I played D-Day Waffen SS. Are they careful? I think they are. I think they're like one of the only things in the book that were core careful. Yes, on a 4+. So 4 shots hitting on 4s.
2.
So 1 hit on each.
Yep.
Side armor is 8 to anti-tank 11. So 9, 10, 11, and 3 to equal, 4 to ignore. So 1 on the right. Is it ignore? 1 on the left. That was close.
Bugger.
That could have really hurt. And then the last thing you wanted to do was shoot one of your Piats over here at my half tracks, right?
Yep.
So just the closest half track, you'll be hitting him on a 3.
Okay.
And your AT was 10?
AT10.
My front armor is like 1? Question mark? Yep. So firepower?
5+.
No.
No.
Build it.
Build it.
All right. Let's see if I can continue to win this next turn, because now I've got to clear out your 6-pounders and that one team within 4 inches of the objective.
Yep.
So we'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to remount this half track here on 3+. They don't remount, and I don't have a commander nearby. We've got to remount that half track here. They do remount. And I have to make a last stand test on this 222 because he's outside of command distance of the 221, so on a 4+. And they both ran away.
Okay.
I killed my own unit in true me fashion. So we'll move on to the movement phase. Okay, so movement phase. Over here, I was able to finally cross the other 2 tracks. He's bailed out, so whatever. The other 4 moved forward and are going to open up with their MGs. The scout section moved to support on the flank. Over here, this scout section was able to, again, regroup across the river and continue pushing forward. Tiger tanks, I'm going to use them real aggressively. They are my hammer in this list, so I just need to keep pushing you off. Infantry disembarked, crossed over the river with their autocross. Other infantry kind of moved in, so we're going to position for an assault there. Transports are keeping up. The 251 platoon is just sweeping in for mop-up.
Okay.
So, fast, aggressive. This is the 9th SS in Holland. This is predominantly a reconnaissance unit, so they're nothing but fast cars backed up by a bit of heavy armor. So we'll roll into some shooting. All right, so we're going to start the shooting phase here with the MG half tracks here, firing into your teams across the river there that are not longer in foxholes.
Okay.
So just hitting you on your 4, becoming 5 because you are stationary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. That's enough to pin that platoon.
Okay.
And 5 infantry saves, which will just be, I'll double up 1 on the command team. So he'll take 2 hits, and then the other 3 will just get 1 hit each.
So command team.
Good.
Okay.
And then just 3 rifle MG teams.
I think all three of them just died.
Works for me.
Okay.
All right, then in here we've got one SMG team, who I should actually double check has range. Yep, so one SMG team, and then 3 on the move MG teams, so they're 2 shots each. SMG gets 3 shots on the move because it's an SMG. Shooting through concealment at your dug-in 6-pounders, needing 5s to hit. 3, so we'll get 2 on him. Actually, you know what we'll do? 2 on this team here and 1 on him.
Right. Okay.
All right, it's 3 up save.
For the first with a 2. Okay, and for the other one, it's just 1. They both pass.
So then we'll move on to the Tiger Platoon. The one here will put 4 MG shots into them, and the other one will put 4 MG shots into what's left of the platoon.
Okay.
So here, hitting on 5s. 2 more hits, which is enough to pin them.
Okay.
And on that lone team, 2 hits. So 1 each on these 6-pounders, and then 2 on the command team.
Okay, so the 6-pounders.
All right, so it'll be firepower checks because they are still dug in.
Okay.
And then 2 hits on the command team. He's good. Okay, so then firepower is 6+ on them. So on him first. No, and on him. No, okay. But they are pinned.
All right.
All right, moving along, we've got the 250 Scout Troop here. I'm going to shoot down the road at him there. I don't actually think they were in the foxholes. I think that marker was for the howitzers.
Yep.
So hitting on 5s because you're concealed. The black dice, sorry, I should have said the black dice are the 2 centimeters firing on the move. The gray dice were the MGs. So 1 MG hit and 1 2-centimeter hit.
Okay.
Just because the 2-centimeter does have a slightly higher firepower.
Okay. Can't see the other one.
A 6 and a 5.
Okay.
All right, moving along, we've got this infantry platoon here in half tracks. They have 4 shots on the move. They're just going to open up into the infantry. We've got 4, 8, 12, 16 shots hitting on 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Not the worst. So I'm definitely going to put 1 on your Piat. And then actually just 1 hit across the board.
Okay.
So Piat first, please.
Piat first.
Okay, and then the command team.
Command team. Where'd you go?
That's firepower on him, and then 2 rifle MG teams. Good to go. So just a 6 of firepower on your commander, and it doesn't work.
Okay.
And then last thing, these 2 centimeters, same thing. Initial target will be the Piat. MG's in gray, 2 centimeters in black, hitting on 5s. 1 2-centimeter hits the Piat.
Okay. And the Piat.
Okay. So that'll be my shooting phase, and I'll be back with some assaults. All right, first assault. I was able to get some infantry teams in here on the enemy anti-tank guns, which I need to clear out before I can deal with what's left in the village objective. So we've got basically 3 teams on this team and 1 team on there. So 3 on the one hitting you on. There's my card here. My skill is veteran now, so 3+. So it'll kill 1 6-pounder. And then 1 team on the remainder. That'll actually kill the second 6-pounder. So that will clear out the 6-pounders, and we'll consolidate and be back with our second assault. All right, second assault, and yes, I'm sort of bullying poor Bree at the moment. Just gonna throw a Tiger in. There's nothing that can hurt me in defensive fire, so just gonna swing, killing the team, and then you can test a counterattack with your command team and your howitzers that are within range, or just opt to fall back. Either way,
nothing that can hurt you, so I'm just going to opt to fall back. I think that's game.
That might be game, unless you can push something in to hold me off.
I don't think I have anything that I can.
All right, well, let's we'll fall back and be right back with what we're doing next. Well, folks, I'm not 100% certain what to make of that, but it doesn't seem like Bree really has anything that can move back into 4 inches. I mean, theoretically, you could push the infantry into the church, give them bulletproof cover, but I've got all my infantry coming up, so I mean, it's up to you, dear.
You know what? No, I'm calling it. I think.
Hand ho.
There's not really anything I can do against those tigers now that you've taken out my 6-pounders.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of Piats, but They're not in great positions, and they're
No.
being pressed on that side.
I was going to say, to move them out of the buildings and come across here, it's just going to be shooting fish in a barrel for you.
Yep. All right, no, that's we'll call that game, and we'll be right back with a debrief. Well, that was, I think, the quickest game we've had in a long time. Actually, I think the quickest game we had was the very first game we filmed, and this was almost as quick.
Yeah. Swift and very, very painful.
I will point out you made some poor decisions in your deployment. I would have put an infantry platoon into the tree line on the other side. That's part of why I put those trees there, were just to give you some cover for that. But that's okay. I should have said something, but I kind of wanted to win. So, a little bit of bullying. It's all good. I love my wife.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you had some decent thoughts with your deployment. You know, you used the buildings to your advantage. 6-pounder ambush was perfect. I just had some good dice rolls. And yeah, I mean, not much else you can do. You know, I'm running.
Your dice really liked you today.
They did today. More importantly, I'm running a reconnaissance company backed up by Tiger tanks, backed up with the 9th SS upgrade to be veteran and fearless. So your soft paratroops, we were, you know, I don't want to say it's historically accurate, but it is kind of historically accurate.
I was going to say, it went with history. They got pushed off of the point and had to run in the actual historical battle. So it makes perfect sense that I got absolutely annihilated. I did forget again last turn to pull a unit off, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, Fighting Withdrawal is a really hard mission to play, and I think you did the best you could. And yeah, this is just the 9th SS, you know, cutting off the relief columns and taking the roads leading into Arnhem so that the rest of the British and their 11th Armoured, I think, can't catch up. So that was fun for us, even a little shorter than I would have liked, but it is what it is. I hope you guys watch, or enjoy watching this rather, and also make sure you check out Valley Gaming. I'll put the link down below. It's their Firestorm campaign that we're helping out by playing some games with. Another great channel, and love to see them get some love. So remember, guys, check us out on our social medias, Facebook, Discord, TikTok,
Twitter.
I don't really use the Twitter anymore. Yeah. It's fine.
It kind of died.
And an Instagram, where I'm going to be putting up some more painting photos starting this week, actually. So, yeah.
Also, keep an eye out for some new content, some interesting new things we're going to bring to the channel shortly. You'll get a early view of them on our Instagram and on our TikTok. So definitely check out on there to see what we're doing next. But yeah.
All right. Sorry for being a bit rushed. You can hear my baby crying in the background. Babysitter's doing the best she can. But anyways, guys, remember, we're pulling for you. Let's keep sticks on the ice.
Take care, you guys.
Okay.